Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Vladas Kravikas. I'm a marketing director with Realty Prox and National Closing Center. And thanks for making it today to our webinar. I know it's a week before Christmas. You guys are probably busy Christmas shopping and running other errands. So all of you who made it today, kudos to you and thanks. And we appreciate your presence and thanks for attending our webinars. Today's topic is content marketing, but before I go to that topic, I just want to say a few words about Realty Prox and National Closing Center, just because I know I have a diverse audience and some of you are long-term members of Realty Prox and National Closing Center. Others are possibly new, just found out about us and joined our webinar. So just bear with me, give me a few minutes. I will talk briefly about National Closing Center and Realty Prox, what products we have, what services we provide to the real estate community, and then I will go to our today's topic. This is a special webinar, not one of those generic trainings because it's end of the year and you're probably preparing your plans for the next year, including your marketing plans. So specifically, I wanted to talk about content marketing today. But first of all, a few words about Realty Prox and National Closing Center. What is Realty Prox? Realty Prox is a real estate transaction management and short sale processing platform. So in other words, it's a software. It's a free web-based software. You can get it by simply going online to www.realtyprox.com and registering and creating your free account. Never ever we ask for a credit card. There are no trials. There are no any kind of gimmicks. It's a free software just like your Gmail, your Yahoo, your Facebook. We are big believers in free technology. We offer multiple services and products that do generate revenue for us. So we believe that basic transaction management services should be free, and we strive every day to make sure these services are free. Realty Prox streamlines the process by connecting all parties involved in a short sale transaction. As of today, software is for short sale transactions only. It does a few other things, but it's not a full transaction management platform yet, in a sense that we haven't added traditional equity sales management, but we are working on it, and it should be available at some point at the beginning of 2014. What Realty Prox does, it provides real estate professionals with lead management, marketing, offer submission, and other tools which enable them to close short sales 70% faster. 70% that is if you're not using any kind of software, you're just working in an old-fashioned way, mailing everything and storing everything in actual folders and in other words, not using any kind of technology. I want to say a few words about National Closing Center because it is an integral part of our group, of our company. National Closing Center is a short sale processing company affiliated with attorneys and title escrow companies nationwide. So if Realty Prox is a platform software, NCC is a labor provider. We have actual processors trained with a lot of experience, with years and years of experience in the real estate industry and related industries and insurance. So all of them are skilled processors, and they're there for you to process your short sales. Why choose NCC? It's a very valid question. We know you have a choice, and in different states you have different processing companies and mitigation companies. What NCC is different, first of all, because of its experience, technology, and unique structure. We do promote transparency, efficiency, and we strive for superior results. The fact that NCC and Realty Prox are both part of the Realty Prox group, I think makes us a lot of stronger, better, and different, especially in judicial place, since we work with attorneys that are experienced and in other words, they cooperate with us. They know our system. They know our processes. So especially in judicial estates, we do hear about attorneys that do not use any kind of technology, that they have to bring files, literally manually physical files to them. And I know this also has a certain appeal that you're working with a local person. They're probably a few blocks away from your office, but then again, that local person sometimes does not have enough staff. They don't have enough technology. They do not provide enough transparency. You have to call all the time in order to get your status, and you're simply hoping that they are actually working that file. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these attorneys, they're great people, they're great professionals, but if they are really good when it comes to short sales, if they have good reputation while doing short sales, they usually get overwhelmed and understaffed. So especially for you work, living in judicial states, we will recommend the best attorney for you and for your client, and it's not going to cost anything for either you or your client as well. Of course, National Closing Center is working in non-judicial and escrow states, especially California. A lot of our business is coming from California, even though short sales have slightly diminished, as you know. California experiencing general lack of inventory right now. But even in non-judicial states, escrow states, we are closing a lot of files. And again, transparency and experience of our staff is what sets us apart. And of course, free technology for you and for other parties involved in a short sale transaction. The way we see it, listing agent is at the center of transaction, and then everybody else kind of revolve around it. So seller, buyer, attorneys, if applicable, selling agent, processing company, title escrow, everything kind of revolves around listing agent. And if you take a chance and look at our system, at the Realty Procs system, everything is built to serve listing agent and to connect all the parties involved in transactions. So that connection, the ability, the technology factor and the human factor is very important, and we bring all the parties together. And simply speaking, if you're using Realty Procs and you're outsourcing your files to a National Closing Center, it's very hard for any party not to do their job. Because of the system and the structure, if you're not doing your job, everybody else sees, literally in the platform. So again, for those of you more interested in the platform and how it could help your business, make sure you take our Thursday webinar. You can just go to realtyprocs.com webinars, and every Thursday we have a training that covers specifically the platform, how it works, how it can help your business, and how to utilize and how to get the most of it. I'm not going to dwell a lot on this slide, but just so you have an idea, if you are working with Realty Procs and National Closing Center, all you, the listing agent, have to do is provide basic information about the property and the borrower and show up at the closing. Occasionally, we will need your help to talk to the homeowner if we cannot reach them by phone or fax or email. Occasionally, we'll need your help to possibly drive by and pick up a document here and there. But generally speaking, National Closing Center will order a BPO and if necessary, multiple BPOs and pay for them. It will also collect and audit the documents. Very important, simple things, but that adds up. If you have been working with short sales for a while, you know that mistakes do happen. People forget to sign. Incomplete packages do go to the bank. And short sales are honestly easy. These days, short sales are pretty easy. But there's still a lot of paperwork. And if you're serious about making money doing short sales, you should concentrate on marketing efforts, on networking, on finding leads, on vetting leads, not on the paperwork. So NCC does all of that. As I mentioned before, National Closing Center also recommends an attorney, orders title, follows up with a lender, provides thorough status updates via Realty Procs. So at any given time, you know how many times your processor contacted the bank or the banks, what the outcome was, and all the communications in the system, within the system, are date and time stamped. So again, you are in full control of the transaction, but you don't have to do all these clerical tasks yourself. So I hope you do check out RealtyProcs. If you're new, all you have to do is create your account, and we welcome you home. You will see our dashboard where you can upload your picture, add some information about you. The system is very intuitive, very easy to use, and it just gives just enough information for you to steer the transaction, to stay in control of the transaction. And there is very little learning curves here. But we do encourage you to take a Thursday webinar to kind of familiarize yourself with the system so you can get the most of it. In addition to it, we have whatever you choose to call it. We called it leads a while ago, and it's still labeled as leads in our system. Now, our friend and partner and one of the people who conduct webinars, Lee Hanish, he calls it raw data, which is a completely appropriate term. So whatever you choose to call it, we got it. If you are using RealtyProcs, you will have opportunity to enroll into our lead generation program. And again, this is raw data. These are raw leads. They don't cost anything extra for you, just so you know. These are completely free. But in most metropolitan areas and in most states, we do have leads from the same sources as RealtyTrack does and other data companies, real estate data companies. So what we would provide you once you enroll into the program and request leads, we'll provide you homeowners information, an MLS sheet. We will cross-check with local MLS, make sure the property is not listed yet. So you will get a full snapshot of that property and whoever is on the title. So you can make a decision and contact that homeowner. Use whatever marketing system you're using, whether it's with what we recommend, Lee Hanish, or you have your own system, how to approach your leads. That's totally fine. But what we do know that these people are delinquent and they're going to have to sell it. And short sale is most likely is the best option for them. So I highly recommend you check out our lead program. Again, there's no obligation in a sense that we can't guarantee anything. These are not bank leads. Nobody have spoken with these homeowners about short sale probably. But this is valuable data that you have a chance of converting in actual leads and short sales. So again, there's no pressure, no guarantees, but that is something in addition to whatever you're already doing for you to work with, so you can convert hopefully some of those transactions into short sales and help more homeowners make more money. So check that opportunity out. Now I see a few questions pop up at this moment. I'll take all the questions at the end of this session. I promise it's going to be under an hour. I want to stay under 1 hour simply because I value your time. I know it's a busy holiday season for everyone. So I will, I kind of breeze through all these slides so far. I'm going to slow down a little bit now when I'm entering into our second part of the presentation. But it's, I promise I'm going to keep it brief, and I will take all the questions at the end of this presentation, so hopefully in another 25 minutes or so. But feel free to type your questions right now. They will stay in the question section of GoToMeeting, and I will get back to them shortly. So today's topic, Content Marketing 2014. First of all, what is content marketing? I know I definitely have a few experts who are doing all kinds of content marketing, blogging, social media, newsletters, videos, and I probably have a few people who are still a little bit wary of getting into all of this. They heard they need to blog, they need to do something, they need to create some sort of online presence. So I try to tailor this presentation to kind of both, to reinforce what you know about content marketing for those of you who are pros. Maybe you'll still get a few ideas. I literally have bullet points. I try to just boil it down to points rather than something lengthy and with a lot of fluff. And for those who are new to content marketing, I hope you get an idea what could be accomplished and then build on it on your own. So content marketing's purpose is to attract and retain customers by consistently creating and curating relevant and valuable content. The whole idea of content marketing is not just sitting and blogging and tweeting and creating videos to express yourself, although that part is very important. But the reason why everyone in any industry is doing content marketing is because they want to change the user's behavior. I know it's simple, but it's important to understand why you do what you do, because sometimes we get caught up in those actions and we don't even know why we're doing this. So it's a good idea to understand that we're doing this in order to attract people like magnets, to attract people to us and to change their behavior so they do what we expect them to do. They do something that will bring us, in that case, you real estate agents, money, customers, clients. So it's a powerful tool, but that's a lot to ask from somebody else, to change their behavior, to drop everything, not to go to another agent, to your neighbor agent, to your colleague, but come to you, look into you, that you are authority, that you are a person who has something to say in your niche, in your industry, and they would change, they would model their behavior accordingly. I just wanted to throw some data in here because it's important to understand. I know there's a lot of talk about local marketing and about that you have to concentrate on obviously on what's going on around you. But sometimes it's a good idea to step back and really understand the basics on how much content is out there, and so you can adjust your marketing plan accordingly. Chartbeat had a very interesting a survey conducted. They recruited a lot of data scientists, and they try to understand how many articles are posted on World Wide Web every day and what kind of traffic do they generate. And this is a very recent study. So they found that 92,000 articles are posted on World Wide Web each day, and they attract a lot of traffic. So the above content produces over 1 billion engaged minutes, 1.19 billion to be exact. And those engaged minutes translate roughly into 10 seconds per every person on Earth, or over 2,000 years of time. The reason why I have all this data is that that you understand how much content is out there. People are creating content at like crazy, and then again at the same time a lot of people are engaging with that content. But what's important to understand that definitely not each article gets enough equal share of eyeballs. People have to choose. They have to choose between watching that cute kitty and the real estate article and something else, whatever they're interested in. So as a content marketer, you are going up against a lot of content on the internet. Even though you could think that you're competing against other real estate agents in your niche, but you're also competing with those cute kitties and pop videos and comedies and everything else, because people have limited time to engage online with everything. So they have to choose how much they want to engage with their professional materials, with real estate stuff. So it's just a good idea to get this feeling of how much stuff is out there. Now, very, very important is, where is this traffic coming from? And that is very recent data again. So these numbers change constantly. Apparently, 74% of traffic comes from desktops. So even though it's different in every niche and people's behavior is different, still majority of traffic is coming from desktops. people are using the mobile phones. 26% of traffic is coming from mobile, but majority of traffic is still coming from desktops. So, you cannot underestimate that. People are still reading articles. People are still researching and searching for things online from the desktops. So even though you need to transition to mobile and you need to tailor your campaigns to mobile, I would not suggest to drop everything and target only mobile users, simply because not every person, not every home buyer, not every home seller, especially if they're distressed, have a decent smartphone, and they may not choose to engage with your content via mobile device. Speaking of traffic sources, 50%, half of traffic is direct. That is very, very important, and I will talk about it in a second. 29% of traffic comes from social media, so again, you cannot ignore social media. 29% of traffic comes from social media. People find stuff they want to engage with on social media. 14% is external sources, other websites, other intermediaries, and 7% come from search. So again, even though search is so much hyped up and pay-per-click prices are ridiculous, literally ridiculous when it comes to real estate, only 7% of search. And again, this is not about real estate. This is general data of users engaging. But 7% comes from search. That is a lot higher for real estate. But I would check your own traffic sources, and that's what I wanted to talk next. So this is your bullet point number 1. If we're talking about your next year's content marketing plan, if you wish, you can write this down. This is your bullet point number 1. Know your traffic sources. It could be different based on your niche, on your specialty, whether you're doing short sales or you're doing equity transactions, whatever you're doing, you need to know your traffic sources. Talk to your IT person, or if you're doing your marketing and your IT stuff yourself, track your traffic sources like crazy, religiously. And this is not an educational webinar on how to do that, but you need to find those tools and you need to measure those metrics, because if your traffic is coming from social media exclusively, or most of this is coming from social media, so you better be prepared to give these people what they're looking for on your Facebook page, via Twitter, whatever other social tools you're using. People have to find what they're looking for there. Because if social media is driving traffic, primarily driving traffic for you, people are looking for something. Make sure they find what they're looking for, because they do have other choices. They do have other realtors producing content, and they do have their cute kitties and doggies and puppies to watch. So you better be prepared. Give them what they want. If primarily your traffic is coming from organic search or paid search, obviously you have to modify your content marketing campaigns accordingly. If it's organic search, that means you're doing something really, really well. You're SEO'd your pages very well. You have a lot of great content. People are engaging with your content. In other words, if we strip this conversation of all the fancy words, it boils down to this. You're giving answers to people. What most of us are doing, and especially home buyers or home sellers or distressed sellers, they're going to the internet to find answers. They have problems and they're looking for answers. And honestly, you don't have to be the best writer or the best content producer or the best video producer. If you look at the traffic available right now, if you look at the content available right now, and if you look at what's the most popular, it's not always the best, the most professionally produced or the most professionally written. Sometimes you would be appalled when you see all those mistakes. But people look for answers online. So as long as they find answers, and as long as you are that source of answers, they're going to share your content. They're going to engage with it. So always keep in mind this, that you need to provide answers for them, and wherever they're looking. And for each of you, depending on your geographical location, depending on what you specialize in, whether it's short sales, distressed properties, equity sales, probates, whatever you're doing, first of all, determine traffic sources, then give them what they want via those devices, vehicles that they're looking, that they're using to connect with you. So again, whether it's organic search, paid search, social media, wherever you see people flocking to your site or to your sites, you better have good quality content there. Bullet point number 2, know your CSI, and no, it's not CSI as in crime scene investigation, although it's purposely has this name and it sounds cool and intriguing. CSI in marketing is Content Saturation Index, and it shows how crowded your industry is. It's not much of an actual metrics expressed in some kind of numbers. It's more of a concept that you have to contemplate and think about. The more content an industry has accumulated, the harder it is for a blog or other vehicle of content marketing to become noticed. So again, as a marketer, I know people in certain industries that made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, just because they are in the industry that people are not competing too much online. They're kind of lazy. The famous example was one person that does something with pools. I don't even remember what he does, pool cleaning or pool installation. But at that time, a few years ago, online, there weren't that many other pool guys blogging about sharing their insights, their tips. And so he made a killing just because he started talking about problems, and people who had problems with their pools, whatever his niche, his specialty was, they instantly recognized him as authority. They engaged with his content. They shared his articles. He made a lot of money. Again, I don't remember what exactly he was doing, selling pool equipment, cleaning pools, but he made a lot of money. That's a true story. As you know, obviously, before I even finished this, where I'm going to, real estate is not that kind of niche. You're not going to be the first, the second, even the 10,000th person to start talking about real estate. So your industry, real estate industry, has a very high content saturation index. It's very, very saturated. There's all kinds of stuff. There are big boys. There's Trulia, Zillow. There are all kinds of other real estate agents posting videos. There are other kind of real estate agents that have people they hire full-time in their offices to produce content. So again, this is not big news, but you have to take that in consideration when you're preparing your plan, your content marketing plan for 2014, that this is a very, very saturated market. So this leads us to bullet point number 3. You have to be realistic, and you have to ask hard questions. Am I personally capable? Do I have enough time to produce high-quality content? Should I hire somebody else to create content? Do I have long-term goals? What are they? And would I read my own content? Once again, if you're blogging, if you're writing something online reluctantly, if you really feel you have nothing much to say, if you won't read your own content, just think about these tens of thousands of articles, almost 100,000 articles posted every day. People have choice, and you have to ask those questions. And I'm not saying you need to be a pessimist and drop everything and not do anything, but you just simply have to figure out what works for you. Simply doing this for the sake of doing, simply blogging for the sake of blogging, simply posting on Facebook for the sake of posting, it's not going to get you anywhere, because you are in a market that is in the industry that is very saturated with content. So you're not going to get noticed by doing something, anything, and you're not going to get noticed by doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. So that leads us to the point number 4, which is be a rebel. Honestly, you have no choice. I wish I had you guys on and not muted, but there's quite a few of you and not enough time to have a real roundtable discussion. But I really don't see any other option for you guys, but you have to be a rebel. If you don't like the ways things are done in your industry, you have to say something. Say it loudly, say it online. Yes, some people may not like you for that, but you will get noticed. Again, just because we short on time here, I'm not gonna give a lot of examples, but I'm pretty sure on top of your head you can come up with many examples of people who became famous because they said something. They rubbed somebody the wrong way. It may not be something that your personality is cut out to do. Then you have to find another vehicles. Maybe you're going to be the nicest guy, the absolutely nicest guy in your niche, in your industry, in your area, and that's fine. Cultivate that image, but don't be mediocre. Don't do the same thing that everybody else is doing. And if you're a real estate agent, you're probably a pretty opinionated, pretty aggressive, in the best sense possible, a go-getter person, a people's person. So you have your opinions. You go to all kinds of real estate events, and I talk to you guys afterwards, and a lot of you are saying, well, man, this event sucked. This was a bad event. These organizers were not prepared. You know what? Voice it out loud. Go online and talk about it, or do something positive about it. Start a I don't know, website or a Facebook page, how you can improve this event. Be proactive, not necessarily negative, but be proactive. But if you don't like something, say something. People will notice. Your potential clients, your sellers, your buyers, other real estate agents, they will notice that you have opinions. Again, not plain negativity, but opinions with constructive criticism, and people will think that you are better equipped in terms of tools and understanding in your industry simply because you express your opinions. So it's important that I could do a separate webinar on that, and you can find a lot of material online by experienced marketers on this topic, but you have to figure out the way to be a rebel. Kind of the same thing, but a little different. I wanted to have it as a separate bullet point. You got to be authentic. Again, you have to find your own voice. If you wish to be a rebel, or if you wish to be anybody online, you have to find your own voice. And again, as I said, you could be the nicest guy, then play the nicest guy role online. If you want to be this rebel, be a rebel. If you want to be something different, be something different. Just don't fall into that mediocrity. Just sit down for a second and think for yourself, honestly, how many new clients, how many leads, how many clicks you can get by posting same thing over and over again that other agents are doing. 5 tips for sellers, how to fix up your home before you sell it. A lot of that content is not original, it's completely copied, and that's different from curated content. Curating content professionally, it's one thing, but stealing, rewriting it, doing it in the same voice as the source that you took it from, it's not going to get you anywhere. I'm not saying you're doing this, but I see a lot of people in all kinds of industry that are doing this, that are purchasing systems. Again, I want to put a quotation mark, systems that produce same content for everybody, and all of a sudden person in Florida and a real estate agent in California have the same content about sellers or for sellers and buyers. It's okay, it's a filler, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You have to figure out how to create your own content or how to curate content flawlessly and professionally. And again, the best way to curate content is to quote something and provide your own insight and your opinion. That's the best curation, so be authentic. Bullet point number 6, content is more than plain text. A lot of people think that, well, content, so I just have to write something, and that's not very creative in the sense that, well, it's just more text. People don't have time to read, and so it's just a good idea to keep in mind that content is more than plain text. All of those things, all of those items that you see in this slide, they are content. So e-newsletters, case studies, videos, webinars, white papers, research reports, microsites, infographics. Again, I don't have time to get into this, but if you don't know what it is, just Google infographics. You're going to need a good, decent designer to create infographics and a little bit of creativity. But infographics are still in vogue, sort of, and you can go a long way by simply providing a good infographic on your site every week. Ebooks, mobile content, printed magazines, books, podcasts, mobile apps, digital magazines, newsletters, print newsletters, games and gamification. Again, I think it's, yes, it's kind of expensive, but I'm sure those real estate professionals, those real estate agents that will harness games and gamification on their website, that will come up with creative games for users to play and to engage with the content, and they're going to make a killing. They're going to make a lot of money. So the good thing about real estate that there's a lot of competition. The market, the niche is very saturated, but then there is a lot of people doing the same thing, repetitive thing over and over and over again. So if you choose to do something, sometimes even slightly different, you would be amazed at the results. So again, don't get spooked by the fact that there's a lot of competition. Just find something different. Do your content differently, and then again, keep in mind that there's all kinds of content, and it all works for your benefit. If done correctly, it brings new clients for you. And the bullet point that I know you guys are not going to like it, but I had to put it in there, and that's the last bullet point, is be prepared to open your wallet. You're going to have to spend a little money online. It's very hard these days to be a real estate professional and to achieve all your content marketing goals by simply organically multiplying your content. You're going to have to spend money somewhere. And again, based on your traffic sources, where people are coming to your sites, where do you see the most engagement, you're going to have to spend some money online. This is becoming unavoidable. For instance, Facebook is pretty much refusing to display your business page posts in your user's timeline unless you pay. So if you don't know it yet, you have to write it down, and just remember, if you have a Facebook business page, and if you're posting something on that page, and if users are not engaging with it, maybe it's not because your content is not interesting, but because people don't see it. So all those likes, all those people that you have, whatever you have, 500, 1,000 likes, 5,000 likes, the fact when you post, whatever you post on your page, that doesn't mean that all these 5,000 people will see your post in the timeline when they open it. Facebook has its own algorithm that they use, and it's been noted that lately they're showing your content, your posts, to less and less and less people. So the fact that the person has liked your Facebook page does not mean that they will see all your updates. That is very, very important to understand, very crucial, because it's frustrating for a lot of people. They're posting good content, they're creating good content, but the content is not reaching people. They don't see it unless they specifically go to your page, your business page. But when they open their own Facebook, when they click home, most of them, I would say 97%, 95%, they don't ever see your content. So it's important, especially if you're starting, to put a little bit money in your Facebook. Facebook does treat differently. First of all, you can boost any post individually, and Facebook made it very easy for you. You can do your regular campaigns. You can run ads based on a variety of criteria, and you can also you will also see the increase of your, I would still call it organic traffic, in a sense that if there's always a little bit of money in your account, in your Facebook advertising account, Facebook will treat you, it will give you preferential treatment. Again, there is no direct proof, although if you're a marketer and if you're a little bit of a technology geek, there is actually proof, but I'm not going to get into this. But yeah, if you spend a little bit of money on Facebook and you always have some sort of budget, a few dollars per day, if you're spending a few dollars per day on Facebook marketing, your posts will do better, and people will see your posts in their timelines. So these are Realty Praxis 7 bullet points when it comes to content marketing. There's something you have to address. There's something you have to do about it. You will have to make some sort of decisions when it comes to content marketing. So I hope that these points will help you make the right decisions. And we're going to have a blog post in our news section. So if you go to realtyprox.com, I already have the first half up today, and we will have the second half next week. So the second half, the part 2 of that article, will include the bullet points. So you'll be able to read those bullet points again. And for those of you who made it to this webinar, you were the first ones to see those points, because the article, the first part that's up right now, is just an introduction to content marketing and content saturation index, but does not contain bullet points yet. So this is more or less what I wanted to share with you today. Again, for those of you who don't have the Realty Prax account yet, just visit www.realtyprax.com. Create your free account, play around with this, attend one of our webinars. There's no setup fees, no monthly fees. National Closing Center, when it comes to outsourcing your short sales, charges $149 per successful transaction. There's no any extra fees, but again, check with your with the NCC representative. In certain states where it's harder to close short sales, not necessarily harder to close short sales, where it's harder to get paid for National Closing Center, they might ask you to sign some sort of document that if NCC is not going to be able to get their fair share of compensation from the bank, they might ask a listing agent to chip in a little bit. But again, it's on state per state basis. It's strictly following local laws and regulations. General rule is that the only cost is $149 per successful transaction. So if NCC doesn't close your short sale, it's pretty much free for you. We also have private trainings by appointment via the same GoToMeeting platform. If you have a short sale right now and you're thinking, what should I do? Should I call the bank? Should I do it on my own? I encourage you to call our REST team, 888-830-8338. The phone number on the screen right now, or email us at info@realtyprox.com, and you can schedule your private training. So we would have somebody help you out, upload, download all the documents, make sure everything is right, and have you set up in literally minutes, and this short sale will go to the bank. So you don't need to wait for our regular trainings, for our weekly trainings. If you have a hot short sale, if you have hot lead, if you just signed a short sale, the listing agreement, you can always contact us and we'll have you set up in no time. And again, Realty Prax as a platform, yes, it's a great platform for you, but it's a tool that we cannot live without in terms of National Closing Center. So think of this as it's especially for those of you who are not that big fans of technology and thinking, I just don't need that. Well, if you're using NCC, there is not that much that you have to do on Realty Prax, but it's a huge help for us. When National Closing Center is processing hundreds of files, working without a system would be a disaster, and you would see a completely different results. So if you're not a big fan of technology, if you personally cannot see a point of using transaction management software, think about NCC and think about how them using RealtyProcs benefits you, because you're going to get your short sales closed faster. So you have our contact information, and again, as much as I was talking about RealtyProcs and NCC and social media and content marketing, we're not doing enough in a sense that our own social media is pretty well in its infancy. So if you have a minute, go like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Both NCC and RealtyProcs have its own account, so you can do that, and you can contact me directly. My contact information is on the lower left side of the screen. You can email me. The best way to reach me is email if you have any questions. So thanks for attending this webinar, and I will check out the questions right now, and I'll answer every single of them. And if I'm not able to answer your questions, I will forward them to somebody who can. All right. Did you say that there was no cost if you are with NCC, or no cost if you are with RealtyProcs? All right. So here's the deal. RealtyProcs is always free. So if you're processing your own short sales, and if you need a transaction management software, there's a lot of different kind of products, and most of them charge you monthly access fees. So RealtyProcs is for you to use at no cost. It's free. If you want to process your own short sales, that's fine. You can do that. It's not going to cost you a penny. RealtyProcs is web-based. It works from your tablets, your computers, your laptops, and it's free. The secret and the reason why is that most of our users, most of RealtyProcs users, at some point end up sending at least one file to NCC. So they subsidize RealtyProcs, and we can keep it as a free software, free short sale transaction management platform. So if you're going to be one of the few people who have their own structure, and you're never ever going to get overwhelmed, and you're never going to get tempted to send a file to National Closing Center, that's totally fine. You will be in minority, and we're still happy you're using our tools. You're still going to be part of RealtyProcs community. No grudges, no questions asked. However, as I said, most of the people who use RealtyProcs, at some point, they're either going to switch most of their short sales, they're just going to outsource them to a National Closing Center, because it's just easier, and they can concentrate on other things once they trust NCC. Others, I'm not going to lie, others do a few short sales here and there, process them in-house, and then once they get an extra short sale, when they're too busy and they don't want to hire an extra person, extra processor, extra office person, they just send that out, that overflow short sale, to National Closing Center. So again, we try to keep this as flexible as possible. We try not to force you to do something that you don't want to do. We try to give you choices, and we try to charge you as fairly as possible. And when it comes to NCC, as I just quoted, normally it's $149 per closed transaction. There are certain caveats, and there are certain exceptions in different states, so it's important for us to know what state you are in. But if you're in California, as long as you use our preferred escrow company, it's still going to be the same thing, $149 per closed transaction. If you are in judicial states such as Illinois, as long as your client picks our attorney, it's same cost for you, $149 per closed transaction, no any extra fees. In certain areas or in certain instances, when you want to use your own attorney, or when you don't want to use our escrow company, we're going to have to charge you more, up to 1% of property price. But again, we have general rules, and then we have a lot of exceptions. We're a small company. Both RealtyProcs and National Closing Center, they both are based in Oak Brook, Illinois, 24 miles from Chicago. We work all across the country, everywhere. And personally, I am based in Los Angeles, so I'm very well familiar with California real estate myself, even though I'm not a real estate agent, nor am I a real estate with short sale processor. I'm a marketing/IT guy. But so yeah, we're flexible, and just there are general rules. We have to have general rules, but then we have exceptions. If you have volume, whatever we can help you, we will give you the best solution, the best price, and we'll work with you to make sure we don't interfere with your current processes. We kind of integrate and help you out. So I hope this answered this question. Again, I see a few questions that are about specific short sale files. Since I just said I am not a processor, I'm not a loss mitigator, so I'm not going to try to answer those questions. And again, they're specific. They're covering specific situations. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pass those questions to our senior processors, and they're going to contact each of you askers personally, and they're going to discuss these situations, because again, these are specific situations pertaining to specific banks, asking of what should I do, how should I proceed, what's the best strategy. So I'm neither the right person to answer those questions, and I don't think those situations, at least some of them, may not even be interesting or pertaining to other callers on the line. Do you guys, I'm sorry, just I have to scroll up. This question just disappeared on me. 1 second here. What do you do when banks use Equator? How RealtyProcs is different from Equator? Very good question. I get this all the time. Simply put, Equator is a great system, great software that serves banks. It serves banks' purposes, and it does the same thing that RealtyProcs does to NCC. So Equator does the same to the banks. It's crucial, it's essential for NCC to have RealtyProcs so they don't lose track, and their performance is always excellent, and so they have a tool. It's slightly less important for real estate agents. It's exactly the same for the banks, Equator. Equator is essential for banks so they can streamline their processes, and they can serve you guys better. And again, Equator is a little bit less important for real estate community, for real estate agents, because you kind of just follow the rules and you are doing tasks on Equator. So RealtyProcs and Equator, they don't intersect. They serve different purposes, and they get the work done. If you choose to use National Closing Center, then National Closing Center's processors will use Equator. We do whatever is necessary on Equator, and we'll do all the tasks with your permission. So you get all the credit for doing that short sale, and you wouldn't have to do double entry thing. You don't have to work with two systems. So if you're doing your own short sales on RealtyProcs, then again, if you work a lot with banks that use Equator, honestly, RealtyProcs may not be a product for you. I'm not going to lie. Equator might sufficiently do everything that is needed for you to do tasking, and that's fine. So yeah, this is it. But if you are going to use National Closing Center, and the whole purpose today is not today, but just generally, the whole purpose is for us to help with your short sales and help with your other needs. We have guest speakers. We have Lee Hanich that talks about marketing, teaches you how to do marketing. So if you're more what's the right expression here? If you're more concerned with your marketing, you want to get a lot of leads, you want to close a lot of leads, using RealtyProcs and National Closing Center might be the best solution for you, because you can concentrate on acquiring more clients. If you're just doing here and there short sale, and you're working mostly with Chase or Wells Fargo or other big banks, RealtyProcs may not be a product for you unless you want processing. If you want processing, National Closing Center there for you, and then you'll end up using RealtyProcs, and I hope you'll end up loving it. So we didn't have a huge crowd today, about 36, 37 people. So I promised to finish in under an hour. I barely reached my mark, but it's not an hour yet. So since I don't have any more questions today, and again, the ones that I have pertain more to specific files, so I will get back to you, or somebody else most likely will get back to you shortly. For the rest of you, thank you so much for attending this webinar. I hope it was useful for you. Have a great holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I have to look at the schedule, make sure if we're gonna meet in some way or another online before New Year. If not, again, I wish you all the best. Thank you for your support, and everyone have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. This concludes this webinar.